Okay. It is nice to say, I think I have a general idea of where we're going to go this time. The one thing I did not do was look at goalies, and I needed to do that. Obviously, with the likes of Ville Husso being the top dog out there, it's not looking good. But I'm going to look to see who the top Finnish goaltender is right now. It is still probably Jussi Saros, which is horrifying because he hasn't been very good. I mean, Ottinger's still in Dallas. I did not think... I mean, Eskalainen's out there, who we did draft, but again, he's not looking like he's going to be anything special. A couple of Finns in Los Angeles, but they're nothing special. Wow, that's Montreal's top goalie right now, huh? Handling the post-carry price. Oh, good! Look at Nashville's goaltending. Good job, AI. You're crushing it. You're absolutely crushing it. You're so good and competitive, and it makes this a very rewarding gameplay experience when I lose to you when you're dumb enough to build a team that way. Yeah, Saros still $10 million this year and next, 86 overall. We'd have to get him on 50% retained, and even then, why bother? Because, it's goalie-wise, there's nothing to do there. So defensively, in theory, if we were to keep Ville Heinola, we have Kiviharju on the top pair. Honka is still around. Heimasami is still around. And then third pair, Karku, even Tuomo Tukio. Third pair is fine. Kakko, Laine, Varakis. Left wing is Pettinen. I mean, that's pretty much your top four wingers right there. And then we have too many centers for too few spots. Haltinen has dropped down to a third liner. Contract years for both Lundell and Ratu. That does not help at all. But let's say we have Pettinen, Varakis, Laine, Kakko. Centered by Aho, Rot. I think a center. I think Anton Lundell is the guy that it makes the most sense to get rid of. I really do. Knowing that he's going to want $9 to $12 million next year, he's a 50-point guy. That scares me quite a bit. He has damn good trade value. Again, somebody big has to go, and I have to be honest, it can't be Heinola. It can't be. A defenseman that puts up that many points is just far, far too valuable in the sim. So he's staying. So based on cap hit and age and outright need, I mean, it's Aho, it's Kakko or Laine, Lundell. I mean, in theory, you'd want to keep Aho. Technically, you could go Lundell, Ratu. Kakko, Laine, you could technically break something up there. I just can't help but think it's still Anton Lundell. I can't help but think it's still him. Rantanen's going to be way too goddamn expensive on Colorado. That's just a fact. He's way too expensive, and he's signed for way too long. Heiskanen, his deal's up at the end of the year. We got to hope that Miro Heiskanen hits free agency next year. It's the only way we're landing him. Barkov's too damn expensive. We know Kokoniemi's not an extremely high-level talent. Tampa, as much as I would love this guy, $4 million for a dude who averages 100 and at least 100 penalty minutes a year. Jesus Christ. has 517 career penalty minutes in 326 NHL games. Of course, can't see the damn fights from here, which is fucking stupid, but presumably he fights a lot. 67 discipline. Physical beast. There was Rasmus Rinne on Los Angeles, a younger center who does look promising again for a 20-year-old, just not very proven at the NHL level yet. Keyword is yet. Or it's Calgary with the RFA and Consta Helenius, and then potentially even Lassie Thompson on defense. Because Lassie is signed to a good deal. But then again, that would be a good amount of money for a third pair. How much better is Aho compared to Lundell? Again, Lundell has been about a 50-point guy. Aho is a 70-point guy. So, now the argument is, if Lundell is in that situation that Aho's been in, can Lundell do the same thing? We don't know. You know, it's a pretty big risk. And who knows, maybe Lundell, we get to sign him in free agency. The team that we trade him to might not even be able to keep him. But Aho, Ratu, Halttunen. I'm just thinking, though, obviously, if we bring in Helenius, a winger has to go too. Because otherwise we don't have space. But if we trade Lundell for a center, like a Rasmus Rinne, that might not be the worst. But then we'd have to consider Halttunen a winger. He could play the third line. How much sense does Helenius make? I know Laine and Kakko are getting up there in age a little bit, but how much sense would he make? Because Rasmus Rinne is still on his ELC or close to it. 2 years left on his ELC. I mean, it's tough to compete with. I don't even think they would do a 1-for-1. I don't know. I'm going to safety net it just to make sure. Third round pick next year. What about 1-for-1? Have to be Lundell and a little bit extra for Rasmus Rinne, but you know what? I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it. That is a good way to get significantly cheaper. Holy shit, do we have a lot of picks in the upcoming draft, by the way. Lundell and a 7 to Los Angeles for Rasmus Rinne. We do still have our RFAs to worry about. Joe Pavelski's back on as a coach. Maurice Goodrow signed as well, which is great. We'll have the scout offers. Don't forget just how much better every EA series was than their football game between 11 and 18. Yeah, Madden went through a rough spell that they still haven't totally recovered from. I still enjoy it for what it is, but yeah, Madden's still not in an amazing spot. All right. Here we go. Kapari signs. Maselli, Helenius, Marilainen, Haminaho, Hirvonen, Kaskamaki, Ernan, Koivunen. All right, so everyone except for Pentakainen and Alto signed, which leaves us with $8.6 million. With Kiviharu and Halttunen still being RFAs. Fuck. Because we did sign Kapari and Maselli to some decent money. Somebody else has to go still. Somebody else still has to go. We got 2 goalies on roster. The top 4 defense still set once we sign Kiviharu. So forward-wise, obviously, We have Capo Caco on the right, Aho and Pettinen, which works. In theory, second line is Laine, Ratu, Varakis. Third line, Kapari, Rinne, and Haltonen, if we can sign him, but we don't have the space. Maselli could also be on the left. Okay. So Haltonen needs to stay. We need another big name off this team. We need another big name off of this team, and it is either Kako, Laine, or Ratu. And honestly, it's got to be Kako or Laine because of how much they're getting paid. If not, both. What I mean by that is the Vegas Golden Knights have a shitload of cap space. If we get rid of both Laine and Kako, that's $18 million in cap space. We get our first round pick back. We fought so hard to get these guys, but it hasn't worked. We get significantly younger in the process. We get our first round pick back in case we're not very good. Safety netted a little bit. Are we sending Laine and Kako to Vegas? Yes, we are. I told you this team wasn't likely to be the same. Laine and Kako are gone. $24 million in cap space. We have to sign Kivy before he gets a stupidly expensive offer sheet that could really screw things up. We're looking at 7.85 for the last 3 years of RFA status. We fought so hard to build up this team, they couldn't win, and then bam, the freaking cap came back to haunt us. And then Haltonen will go 2 years, the last of his RFA status. And we'll go $3 million flat. Now, bridge deals indeed. However, that also leaves room to do something else. And that is to go after Consta because we have our draft picks back. And I think we have the money to do it. I think we do. So again, it was $3 million for Haltonen. We have plenty of money. We have plenty of money. What does Calgary have cap space-wise? Calgary has all the cap space in the world. So bottom line is we would have to pay this guy more than he is worth to steal him away. If we get a 1-year deal, $10 million? Because it was what, 8 or 9, and then plus the 3. That should work. First, second, and a third. Let's try it. Can we successfully offer sheet another top Finnish prospect with the first, second, and third? Hellenis has accepted, but will Calgary match? So that Laine and Kako trade technically involves Consta Hellenis. Kasper Haltonen's rejected. Kivi Harju is also rejected. Those cheaper deals. Leaves us with $15 million to sign the two of them, though, which should be more than enough. More than enough. So we will keep trying and hope to God that an offer sheet doesn't roll in. 2 years, $3 million. And yeah, basically the only question is, do they sign before an offer sheet rolls in? If an offer sheet rolls in for Kiviharju, it'll be a damn good return for us at the very least. I'm going to go $8 million for 3 years for him. Can we lock these guys down? That is the question. Haltonen signs. Kiviharju rejects again. We'll keep fighting for him. Leaves us with $13.8 million. Honestly, he wants 7. What if we just say screw it and go 8.5? Really, 8 point. We'll go 8.25 for 8 years. That would be a steal and a half if it happens. I doubt it, but you never know. It was Nurmi. I thought it was him. Rejects again. Oh boy, he is pulling a full Mitch Marner here. Fine, 7-year deal, as you want. $8.3 million. The good news is no offer sheets rolled in yet, which is probably terrible luck that I just said that, but it's fine. Also turning into the longest offseason of all time. Buddy, you might notice how nobody else apparently wants you either. He now wants a 1-year deal. We'll do that. 1 year, $8 million, just to keep him around. Just to keep him around. Mills, what's going on? How the heck are you? And there we go. All right, 1 year, $8 million. Works for me. So with, almost $7 million to spare, we pulled it off. We definitely had to get rid of who we got rid of. There were a lot of sacrifices on this team. Saw Spider-Man tonight. Ooh. I'm intrigued, but I probably won't go to a theater to watch it. Defensively, my God. 2, 3, 4. We need like 8. We need 8 defenders. Catcher, I believe I did, yeah. He still didn't sign. All right, we do have Ristolainen and Tukio that can sign, so we need about 6 defenders once we sign those 2. Forwards, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And like 2 forwards. So 2 forwards. Oh, we need to get Husso now. The problem is, goaltending's just not worth paying for. It's just far too random. Like, we had Ville Husso on this team, and he was okay at times. He wasn't great at other times. I would much rather just bring back the same group from before. Kevin Lankinen, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Eustace. Just bring back the same guys, Jonas Korpisalo as well, and eventually somebody has to be able to make a goddamn save. At least I hope. And then for Finnish defenseman, I wish I could sign Nick Hague. We'll be bringing back Puutio again. Topi Niemela is 2. Kalkkonen is 3. Ottavainen is going to be back. He's the 4th. Jokiharju would be our 5th. And we need 1 more. Kinnunen will be our 6th. And then just a couple of forwards to round it out, whoever the hell is out here. So far, it's a lot of Swedes. Puistola, we can bring you back at an 80 overall. NHL, AHL, doesn't really matter where you play. Henriksen is a Swede, but Sorella is not. Anybody else who's an 80? What do we have? 12 contract offers out. I mean, I got room for more forwards to improve the team if need be. I still have to sign those 2 defenders, though. All right, I think we're good. At least as good as we're going to be. We took some massive hits to this team and the makeup of the squad. We really did. But it was bound to happen. That's why the last playoff loss was so disappointing. knowing that it was one of our last chances to pull it off. It's a shame one of those forwards didn't just sign with us, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So we'll see what we look like. No Patrick Laine anymore. No Capo Caco anymore. Lekkonen's gone. Esa Lindell is gone. We have lost a lot of talent. Cody, no such thing. So goalie-wise this season, Emil Vinny and Levi Merilainen will get the primary opportunities with Jonas Korpisalo as the third string. Defense. Probably Karki, because he has better potential than Kuokkanen. Honka, Hamasalmi. What are you doing in this franchise? I'm confused. We are only using Finnish players and trying to win a Stanley Cup. Only using Finnish players. There's a variety of right defenders we could use. Honestly, including Tuomo Tukio. But I think he'll be better set off in the AHL. So that third pair right D can be Putio. It could be Topi Niemela. It depends. We'll see who's a better fit with our coach. Yeah, because neither of them are going to end up being significantly better than the other. Honestly, let's go with Topi Niemela to start the season. So Varakis and Helenius on the team, which is ridiculous. Pettinen, Maselli, Hirvonen, Puistola. Vestarainen will probably be on the team. Aho, Ratu, Rinne, Halttunen, Kupari. Jesus. But yeah, this is a challenge that we've done before with other nations. We've done league-specific challenges, like only drafting out of the OHL. They can be fun. They can also be a gigantic pain in the neck. So who would be that third line right wing? It would be Halttunen. We do still need a fourth line right wing. And that's where Tuomala comes in. So left wing. Somebody's got to get sent down. Urnen's 23 and can get better. Pustola's 27. Hirvonen as well. Gaudy makes no difference to me. We're going to send down Patrick Pustola. All right, so we got... Oh, God, sorry. Kupari or Rinne has to be a... Man, Rinne went up by 2 since we got him. So we're looking at like Kupari, Ratu, Halttunen on the third line. So Roni Hirvonen provides good physicality. He's pretty well-rounded, but yeah, he's the one to go down. And then it's Sorella at 27 or Helenius is 25. Helenius, very, very physical player. Sorella also not bad. But let's go with Helenius. Let's get some grit in this lineup. So this team. We did start as the 33rd expansion team, yes. So bump up Rinne. Pettinen, Aho, Varakis again. Helenius with Ratu. And it could be Rinne. Started in the Rangers, had Kako unprotected. Odds are you did, you forgot a very incredibly important aspect to that. You need to hit add contract year, because otherwise the game views it as you're not joining in right now, you're joining in at the end of next season. Really? Even with add contract year, it's still there. Well, fuck me. He didn't show up for me. I don't like you. I don't like you anymore. Would have been nice to get him for free based on what I had to friggin' give up for him. I don't like you anymore at all. That is incredibly rude, sir. All right, Ernan, Helenius, Tuomala. Pretty physical fourth line. Halttunen with Kupari and Maselli, and then Rinne on the wing with Ratu and Helenius. I didn't plan on playing Rasmus Rene on the wing, but that's just kind of how it's worked out. It's him or Kapari. And I'd rather have Rene on the second line. It's where he belongs. My nose is so friggin' itchy right now. I don't know what's going on. Honka, Hamasalmi, Niemela. Obviously, we want Kivy on that top pairing. Artukarki's here. It's still a pretty good team, all things considered. I think given the amount of talent that we just lost, the team actually still looking this decent is shocking. We're going to keep Rope Vestarinen in the AHL, even though he's a depth forward. I feel like he could really dominate that league. He's better served than being a fourth liner for us, at least. We got to try out Maselli on that fourth line just to see if he's a fit. So in terms of our coach for the season, Joe Pavelski, 65% scheme fit for Joe. Colombe is a 52. Winkler is a 62. So 62 versus 65, A versus B. And then Goudreau is a 63. I think it's got to be the A+ in Goudreau. At least to start. At least to start. We'll still run Brent Burns as a goalie coach. Parise will run as the assistant. You can be the associate. Joe Pavelski will be the AHL head coach. Which just means we need an NHL level goaltending coach. And we're good to go. But yeah, I think we have to try out an A+ level coach. I mean, again, those coaches, sometimes it works out well and they make your team significantly better. Other times it really doesn't do a whole hell of a lot, but we got to try it. So we need to redo some scouts here. Gonna need a couple SHL scouts for the Finns that pop into the Swedish league. What time is it? Wow, it's getting late already. I don't know how the hell that happened. Probably the power outage. Probably the power outage. Give me 1 second, too. All right, let's see. Back to the Nordics. Again, it's a shame the Allsvenskan doesn't generate prospects in this game mode. Could use another couple of scouts over there just to spread the wealth a little bit, but pretty much means the Liga should be 100% sorted, although it's never that way. I could go a little bit more hands-on with the scouting, but at the same time, I shouldn't have to. But there we go. All right, so that's good to go. So we know that our coaching staff is good to go. +3 for the top line. No pluses elsewhere. That's okay. Defense, couple of +1s. Which is also all right. We had a lot of scouts leave. And again, you got to let them go first to then be able to bring back most of them without the big pay raises. So power play-wise, we have Pettinen, Aho, and Varakis, Rinne, Ratu, and Helen. Good old Helen. And then Haltonen should be there as well. Defensively, Kivy, Heinola deserve some power play time too. So 6, 7, 8, 9. We need one more guy, which is probably Honka to end up on a power play. Have we ever done a Swiss team? I don't think so, because there aren't that many Swiss people to start things off with. So let's see. We have Kivi Haru. Let's get Hanel out there too and just have this like dominant top power play. I mean, and really, this top power play unit should be absolutely insane. It really, really should be. All right. So, distributor. We're going to run it through Heinola and set up Varakis for the 1Ts. Second power play is Rinne. We need Rinne. We need Ratu. Helen's already there. Haltonen. And then Honka. to round out this beautiful PP. Haltonen's a big boy. Can put him in front. Ratu. Rene can be at the point. That works for me. We will have Honka work the power play. The finisher will be old Helen. Just to see if that works. So again, I think we have bounced back really well, all things considered. I mean, the goaltending situation hasn't really changed, but we didn't expect it to. I think we're looking okay. AHL team should easily be a playoff level club again. Not too worried about Haminaho. Kaskimaki or Topironi, it is what it is. We got plenty of depth. We should be good. We should be a playoff team again. Oh, I hope. But I don't know, man. Having to trade Patrick Laine broke my heart.